Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Rebecca Achope Andeshi, and the name of my organization is Awe Farms and Consults. Awe Farms and Consults is an agri-tech organization that is into recycling of agricultural waste into high-quality farm inputs. The title of my paper presentation today is The Role of Women in Efficient Recycling of Agricultural Waste and Income Generation. Globally, about 140 billion tons of agricultural waste is generated annually from different agri-processing activities. While back home in Nigeria, we have about 32 million metric tons of agricultural waste that is being generated annually. This waste has been categorized into animal-based waste and crop waste. Animal waste comprises of droppings, poultry droppings, livestock droppings, and also carcasses. Carcasses is a general term that refers to byproducts of livestock processing such as blood, bone meal, poultry feather, etc. While crop waste, we have maize offal. For the basic, I'm giving a rundown of the types of agricultural waste that we use in my organization. Crop waste, we have maize offal, rice husks, spent grain, molasses, and palm kernel cake. Maize offal is a byproduct gotten from the processing of maize. Rice husks too is also a byproduct gotten from the processing of rice grains. Then we have spent grain. Spent grain, also referred to as brewer's waste, is a byproduct gotten from the processing of malts or sorghum to extract alcohol. Then we have molasses. Molasses, as we all know, is a byproduct gotten from the extraction of sugar from sugarcane, and palm kernel cake, which is a byproduct gotten from the extraction of palm kernel oil from palm kernel itself. These are just to mention a few of the agricultural wastes that are beneficial and are used by my organization. But we have a whole lot of agricultural waste that has not been listed in this innovation, and for the purpose of time, we won't be able to list all of them. So our innovation is targeted at addressing a very critical challenge, which is the disposal of these agricultural wastes in open fields, landfills, or water bodies. Mostly, out of these 32 million metric tons of agricultural waste generated in Nigeria, only 2% are recycled annually. The rest are disposed of in landfills and water bodies. Agricultural waste, it's very dangerous to the environment in the sense that, unlike plastic waste, it doesn't stay in a particular place for long without undergoing change. Agricultural waste, immediately it is exposed to water or to rainfalls, it undergoes a chemical reaction, and before you know, you evidently see production of greenhouse gases, especially methane. Methane is a common greenhouse gas that is usually produced from the exposure of livestock feces and poultry feces to water. Methane is a very potent greenhouse gas, which is more potent than carbon and can easily cause environmental pollution, especially in rural communities, because a larger percentage of these large-scale processing facilities are situated in rural communities. Thus, they usually dispose of this waste in these rural communities. My innovation slash solution is targeted at utilizing this agricultural waste to generate high quality and affordable farm input, which is what we have been doing for the past 5 years. But we are looking at upscaling and incorporating more women involvement across our production processes. So basically, what my innovation does is that it utilizes, first and foremost, we have two major categories of products that we produce from this recycled waste. The first one is the organic manure, also known as organic fertilizer. This is gotten from recycling of animal waste, especially poultry droppings, cattle droppings, eggshell powder, blood meal, bone meal, to produce organic fertilizer. Mostly, we package this organic fertilizer in 100 kg bags. This organic fertilizer is utilized by both livestock farmers and this organic fertilizer is usually utilized by farmers, especially crop farmers, large-scale commercial crop farmers, because utilization of this organic fertilizer helps them to greatly reduce their cost of production. You see farmers having over 50 to 500 and 1,000 or 5,000 hectares of land. So what this organic fertilizer does is that, organic fertilizer is relatively cheaper than chemical fertilizer, in the sense that a bag of organic fertilizer in Nigeria goes for about $10, while a bag of chemical fertilizer goes for almost $25 to $30. Another key remarkable difference is the sizing. Organic fertilizer is packaged in 100 kg bags, while chemical fertilizer is packaged in 15 kg bags. So most of these farmers who have large hectares of land usually buy this organic fertilizer from us. Mostly they buy in metric tons, about 40 metric tons and above, which is 1 truckload and above. Some buy as high as 10 truckloads. So what this does for them is that, like I said initially, it greatly saves their cost of production by almost 10 to 20% and above, and also greatly increases their profit margin by 33% and above. Another very critical and very unique benefit of organic fertilizer is post-production, the quality of the harvest post-production. Over the years, we've discovered that farmers who use organic fertilizer, especially for vegetable or highly perishable crops, usually attest to the fact that post-harvest they have less losses compared to the use of chemical fertilizer. Invariably, what that means is that organic fertilizer produces harvests that have a longer shelf life compared to chemical fertilizer, even without the use of preservatives. And also, we've also testified local vegetable sellers in markets have also testified to the fact that the use of with crops that are cultivated with organic fertilizer have a different taste, unique taste compared to chemical fertilizer. And let's not also forget the health benefits of using organic fertilizer over chemical fertilizer. So that's the first major product that we have, which is our organic fertilizer, and we package it in 100 kg bags. Then our second product is utilization of those crop waste I mentioned initially, such as maize offal, soybean meal, palm kernel cake, molasses, and spent grain to produce livestock feed. We have basically like 4 categories of livestock feed that we produce. We have the poultry feed, we have the pig feed, we have the turkey feed, and we have the layers feed. For the broiler feed, we have the broiler starter and the broiler finisher. Usually the broiler starter is given to the birds from day old to 4 weeks, while the broiler finisher is given to the birds from 4 weeks to 6 weeks, or to table size whenever the farmer decides to dispose of his birds. Then the layers feed also is given to the laying birds. Then we have turkey. Then our innovation has really been critical in the pig sector, because for pig production in Nigeria, you hardly have commercial feed that is being produced in large scale to cater for the need of pig farmers. Unlike other sectors that are fully developed, like the poultry feed sector is well developed, the turkey feed sector is well developed, the pig feed sector is not developed at all, because we have religious preferences to consumption of pig meat. So a lot of investors have not really given attention to pig feed. But most farmers, 90% of farmers are into pig production, generally formulate their feed. And our innovation is very critical in the sense that these agricultural waste are very nutritious. They have high energy content, high protein content, high fat content, and also livestock that have been fed with this recycled waste can almost be compared with grain-fed animals with regards to low fat content in their muscle mass when post-slaughter, higher muscle mass, high nutritious and healthy meat with low fats. These are basically some of the advantages of our two innovation, which is the organic manure, organic fertilizer, and the livestock feed. Also, a critical aspect of our innovation is that we are looking at utilizing a fully automated production plant. Currently, we combine manual production and part automation. We are not fully automated. There are certain aspects of the production that requires us to use automation, such as a hammer mill to crush the waste, to also sterilize the waste, and we do open air drying also in cases of wherever we need to dry. Then also we mix manually. What manually means, we use labor. We have laborers who do the mixing, the bagging, and even the weighing is being done manually, and the loading, when we are loading it in trucks, is being done manually. So what automation is going to do for us is that automation is going to greatly cut down it's going to increase our efficiency greatly, and it's going to reduce our production time, and definitely it's going to increase the quality of our end product. So we are looking at automation from aggregation of the waste, which is being aggregation of the waste, to processing. Processing involves various processes from collection to sterilization to sorting it out to crushing it, then to weighing the different components, because there are different percentages of each waste. Each waste has, to produce a metric ton of feed, you require different percentage of each of these agricultural waste mentioned initially. Then you have the weighing of the material, then the mixing. After mixing, we now have bagging. Bagging also requires weighing, because like I said initially, for the organic manure, we weigh it in 100 kg bags, but for the livestock feed, we weigh it in 25 kg bags. After weighing, you now have storage, which is in the warehouse, moving it to the warehouse for storage. Then after storage, sales commences. Mostly we deal directly with distributors, because we operate a business to business model, whereby we sell our produce, organic manure, directly to distributors in different parts, especially in the northern parts of the country, because the northern part of the country in Nigeria is well known for commercial agricultural activities due to the availability of large landmass in that part of the region, and due to the common practice of irrigation farming or year-round farming, unlike other regions in the country that are restricted by landmass and farm only during the dry season. So the organic manure is very critical and is fully appreciated in other parts of the country. So we have distributors in such regions in states like Kaduna State, Plateau State, Kano State. We have distributors. So mostly these distributors buy in truckload, and the minimum order quantity for the organic manure is 35 to 40 metric ton, which is one full truckload, while the livestock feed sells more in the eastern region, where you have poultry farmers, where they concentrate more on poultry farming and livestock farming. We are looking at an estimated weekly production of 140 metric tons for now, but with time we are going to increase our production capacity, because we are forecasting that as we increase production, one of the difficulties we might start facing will be access to raw materials, because with time we discover that we might not have availability of enough raw materials. Therefore, we encourage more people to go into production so that we'll be able to access more raw materials. But for now, we are limiting ourselves to 140 metric tons of agricultural waste weekly, on a weekly basis. And this fully automated plant that we are trying to procure should have a daily capacity of 25 metric tons or 30 metric tons. So back to the critical role that women are going to play in this innovation. Why we emphasize the need for women to be involved in this innovation is the fact that 69% of farmers in rural Nigeria who are underbanked and who engage in these agricultural processes in rural areas are women, and most of these women lack access to credit facilities and thus live in a vicious cycle of poverty, and they are the most affected by the effects of climate change, because typically these farmers have to go to the village have to travel long distance to get arable farmland. Not to forget the fact that most of these processing facilities dispose of their waste in these rural communities. So this waste degrades the farmland. It burns the farmland and make it not arable and not suitable for farming. Thus, they have to go deep down into the forest. They have to clear out forests to be able to get arable farmland, and the effect of that will be deforestation. And we all know that the effects of deforestation is desert encroachment and its long-term effect on climate change. Another major and critical effect of why we choose women and we are actively involving women in this innovation and this our production process is the fact that women also, with due to the pollution of the underground water pollution caused by indiscriminate disposal of agricultural waste, women also have to travel long distance to get potable drinking water, most times with their children. At the end of the day, you discover that such children go late to school, or it greatly affects their education, and these women are very tired and not very productive, because by the time they go long distance to fetch water and to engage in other activities and they come back, they are very tired, and with time this will begin to affect their health. Lastly, why women are greatly involved in this innovation also is the fact that statistics has shown that over 600 cases of infant mortality that occurs in Nigeria is associated with environmental pollution and other public health conditions associated with illegal disposal of agricultural waste in these communities, especially public health related issues with consumption of contaminated water and inhaling of contaminated air. Thus, our economic growth and benefit of this innovation to these women is the fact that involving women in the different aspects of this production will bring about shared prosperity, not forgetting some of the initial benefits I highlighted earlier on will be the fact that these female farmers will now have access to high quality and affordable farm inputs at a cheaper rate, which will reduce their cost of production by 10 to 20% and is going to increase their profit margin by 33%. Then another advantage of this innovation is the fact that involving women in the different aspects of this production process is going to bring about increased income generation for those women. Though we understand the fact that there are certain critical aspects of this production that would affect the health of these women that they cannot be involved in, and this particular aspect is the loading or the carrying of these heavy bags of manure, especially the 100 kg bag. For that, we are going to employ the use of labor or for our automation we have automation would take care of loading these bags directly from the storage facility into the trucks. For every other aspect of this innovation is okay and friendly for women, and women can easily adapt, from aggregation of this waste from this agri-processing plant, because subsequently we'll be dealing directly with these agri-processing plants and be collecting the waste from them on a weekly basis. So rather than them going to dispose it off in the environment, we have an agreement with them, a mutually benefiting agreement, whereby we go to their production plants and we aggregate this waste on a weekly basis. After aggregation, we bring it down to our production facility. Therefore, every other aspect of this innovation, considering the fact that it's automated, it can be operated by women comfortably. Another critical aspect where women are going to benefit a lot from this innovation is the distribution and sales aspect. We fully intend to incorporate women as distributors of our produce, because so far we have no single woman who is a distributor of organic manure or livestock feed. All our distributors are men. Therefore, we know that financing is a critical issue for women to be distributors, because you have to pay upfront before you take the produce. But we will look at a way in which we have a mutually benefiting agreement with these women, even if it means designing a unique credit pattern where the women can provide, as a cooperative they can have access to it to be distributors, because being in a cooperative gives them the leverages of having insurance and also a unique payment pattern where they can pay 30% upfront and they will spread the remaining 70% over a period of time. But definitely we know that the criteria for this will be the fact that you have an insurance policy and you have a positive credit standing, and also you have a guarantor who can stand for you. So this is the only aspect that we know is going to be very challenging to involve women, because being a distributor is capital intensive. Because like I said initially, the minimum order quantity is 30 to 45 metric tons. So it requires a lot of funds to be able to order for a truck of organic manure or livestock feed. So I believe that this unique payment option is going to be attractive, and that's going to be the only way women are going to be enticed to involve in the distribution aspect and sales of this product. It's not a new product, so they don't have the challenge of marketing or market penetration. There is a large need for this product. Demand far outweighs supply with regards to organic manure. There are few or virtually 1% or almost 0% organizations in Nigeria that are into recycling of agricultural waste. I can literally say we are one of the pioneers. Thus, we've discovered that there is a huge demand for organic waste, especially in the northern part of Nigeria and especially by large-scale farmers. We've had requests for almost order for almost 400 metric tons of organic fertilizer at once, and we've not been able to meet up with this. Thus, we have started looking at sourcing from other regions of the country. So definitely, with women being distributors of this product, there is no issue of cost of there will be minimal marketing expenses and marketing incurred, because this product has a very high demand rate in the market. Then lastly, with this innovation and women at the forefront, it will bring about shared prosperity, economic development and growth. Therefore, this is a call to action. We call on leaders in their various countries to enact policies that would favor and give attention to agricultural waste and women. Thank you very much, and God bless.